Behind the Curtain with Jack Bergman.
Well, have you seen how Hitler-esque the NSA keeps going? Will the story never end? Is there any end to the surveillance that the NSA is doing on the U.S.? I mean, oh my God, the American people, first the phone records, now wiretaps. There is no limit. There's so many stories. The issue of what the NSA is doing. Under Bush, it started out that maybe they were looking at 1,000, maybe 2,000 bad guys. Then maybe at the height of it, it went up to something like 10,000. That's the kind of surveillance Bush was talking about. Now we're talking about monitoring the phone conversations of 200 million or 300 million Americans. 300 million Americans. Oh, Harvey Boulter, welcome back to the show. Harvey needs no introduction, chairman of Seecrypt privacy and security expert all over the world. Harvey, welcome.
Thanks, Jack. Nice to be back.
Where do you find yourself? Are you across the pond or are you here?
No, I'm actually in the Middle East at the moment, in Dubai of all places.
Interesting. Well, we got a good reception from way over there. Harvey, this NSA thing, tell me how bad this is. Well, give me your latest reaction to this.
Well, look, I think, Jack, that we're seeing that there's been pretty pervasive surveillance across, all segments of the population, and it's not just metadata. It's telephone calls, it's emails, it's SMSs, it's all forms of communication. And when you piece all of this together, along with the metadata that people leave in their everyday lives and their banking transactions and all the other bits of data that are augmented together, you get a pretty full picture, on pretty much anybody. And you can tell an awful lot about those people, with the augmentation of all this data. And this is where these agencies get into the realm of what we call big data analytics. It's taking this massive amount of data and sifting it through and making sense of it. And of course, it has to pick up everything in order to do that analysis.
Here's what I don't understand. Yet people working in the bureaucracy, to some extent, these people have to be public spirited. I mean, I would presume, now they're not political appointees, maybe they're not terribly public spirited, but somebody who works is a career bureaucrat in one of these agencies, the NSA, the Intel World, or elsewhere. If you're going to stay in an agency for 30 years and be a bureaucrat, I would presume in the U.S. or any other country you have some measure of public spirit. What I don't understand is why, given that, why do they need to be told about the importance of liberty? You would think these people would naturally understand the libertarian concern and the importance of liberty and would always want to balance that. But I don't understand why this crop of people is driving us in this Hitler-esque direction. You would think people like Obama would get resistance. When Obama wants to do this evil crap, you would think he would get resistance, that his political team would get resistance from the bureaucrats, but they're not. They're finding a lot of cooperative people for this, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, I guess it's, to some extent, it's making the job, somewhat easier to sift through everything, and perhaps that's why they keep pushing on, what has largely been an open door. I mean, if there's nobody there to enforce a check or a balance, then people, by their very nature, if they've got
I get it. That's
keep pushing on that open door until it's open.
That's an interesting point. You hit upon something. Maybe the bureaucrats do it because it makes their lives easier, and fundamentally they're bureaucrats. So all of this stuff. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Where do you see this going? I mean, now, so the government, we now know every week there's a new story about what the NSA is doing. The general public really doesn't, I mean, elites are concerned. Conservative elites and libertarians are concerned, but the general public really doesn't seem to care. I guess in this country, if you can watch your baseball game and go eat out somewhere nice, that's all that really matters. And liberty, the heck with liberty, we don't really value it anymore. I'm starting to think that's how Americans feel. But tell me where this goes. What is the danger that this becomes pernicious?
I actually think, Jack, that America is waking up to what is the cost of losing their privacy. And I sort of agree with you that if you go back, Facebook keeps my picture, gee, who cares? Or Google doing a street view, it doesn't really affect me. But when you start piecing all this data together and you see, how you can be tracked and traced and surveilled, I think America is starting to wake up and think, well, actually, this has gone a little bit too far. And that's at an individual level. When you move that sort of thinking and analysis into a corporation, the businesses in America, then it becomes actually quite worrying because you've got trade secrets, you've got intellectual property, you've got, commercial arrangements, whether it be human resources with your employees or healthcare. You've got things that you either want to keep confidential and secret, or perhaps you've even got obligations to keep the data private. You've got data privacy laws, as many countries around the world, that protects people's data, and clearly they're not being adhered to either.
You agree with the general?
So this is a big issue.
It seems to me that the left in this country and in other places, Britain, many European countries, they want to grow out the state at any cost. At any cost, even at the cost of liberty. They want to empower the state, even if you do it in a Hitler-esque or Stalin-esque way. They want to grow the state out. That's their only value. And even like you would think Republicans, I mean, historically in the post-war, we've had a huge role reversal in the United States. Republicans are the ones that wanted to grow out the national security apparatus in a way worrisome to libertarians. That went on for most of the 7 decades after the Second World War. But now it's changing. Now you have an African-American liberal in the White House that wants to do this. And that, to me, is shocking.
Well, and this is another thing, and I think this is what's caused a lot of people surprise, because obviously, through the Bush years, many people thought, oh well, he's gone, he's fought in too many wars, he's very pro the military, and yet, here you are, in the Democrat years, and you found that you're sitting over a situation that is multiples worse, in many
multiples,
respects.
Exponentially worse, I suppose, to the 10th power worse.
And I think that's proved to be really shocking to individuals, not just within America but around the world, because we see increasingly an awful lot of corporations that are coming to us looking for voice protection, message protection, and therefore using our Seecrypt app in order to get some of that protection. But they're coming to us and saying, look, we basically don't trust information technology providers in America anymore. We don't know who to trust.
So if you want to secure...
And I think that's damaging.
Tell me how we can do this. If you want to secure, how can Seecrypt do this? Let's talk about how. Let's talk about how to fight back. You're helping folks fight back. How do you do it? Well,
I mean, we developed this app in order to give you true voice and messaging, the highest possible security that you can achieve through encryption. I mean, it's extremely strong. It changes with every single message or voice call you make, and you can simply download it to your mobile device, Apple or Android. You're up and running immediately. You can call your friend on the other side of the world, and you can be assured that you're going to have a private conversation.
So nobody can penetrate, not U.S. government, not British government. Nobody can get in there. If the CIA wants in there, they can't get in there.
It's exponentially difficult to break this level of encryption. And of course, if you have to do it, if you're going to spend years doing it for one call, the minute I make another call, you've got to spend years and years doing it again for the next call. And you have to remember, we might have millions of messages or sessions, as we call them, going through servers, in a week. So which one do you pick? I mean, it's incredibly difficult, to do. So it's just not practical to even attempt to break it. So we're offering, a good level of protection, and we're seeing massive take-up from corporates, particularly corporates like the oil and gas sector, who do business in Africa and the Middle East and North Africa, from humanitarian agencies, from different governments around the world. We have one royal family in Europe that uses it, defense contractors, people who have valuable information to protect are basically downloading this and adopting it. And of course, Jack, I mean, the other side of the story here is you take the situation with people like LavaBit, who unfortunately got outed for being Snowden's encrypted email provider, and then obviously Silent Circle followed in closing their email encrypted services as well, and that's putting a death knell into the industry, into the information security industry that sits in the U.S. at the moment.
Now, tell me, how can, if I have a listener that wants to get this, how do they log on? What do they go to? Let's promote this, Harvey. Where do they go?
Well, real simple. They go to the website. It's Seecrypt, SEECRYPT.com, and there it will tell you how to download it from the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store, and it's one click, you download it. Once you've downloaded it, you will get a secure number, and that's in your My Profile page, and they typically start 281 and have another 8 digits, and then... I don't recommend
to our listeners too many commercial things. We don't do advertising, but once in a while we do it. Seecrypt.com, and I have no commercial interest in this company, none other than knowing Harvey. I don't get any royalties or anything like that. I'm promoting this as a means of fighting back. I want you to fight back. Seecrypt.com. This is the only thing I have ever heard that the average person can access and fight back against what's going on out there.
That's right. We are pro-privacy, and this is a way to reclaim your liberty and your right to being private.
Well, Harvey Boulter, chairman and CEO of Seecrypt. I never thought we'd have to fight back against the U.S. government, but we do. Harvey, if we're real blessed, we'll be able to have you back again. Thanks so much. That was fascinating. Well, coming up next, we're going to plunge into all things Egypt. Wait till you hear the mess this is. Yet another mess that Obama has created. Stay tuned.